And so if you don't keep control and have a Ba'athist, group that's been kicked out, so you put Shiites basically in a coalition government, if you don't do that, the Sunnis are going to come take over, which is actually a true statement. But here's the problem, George W. Bush. Going and removing Saddam began the destabilization to begin with, and you blamed him for 9/11 when everybody knows, bare minimum, Saudi Arabia was caught with their hand in the cookie jar up to their eyeballs with 15 of the 19 supposed hijackers and financing them. Now, there was a whole other operation going on top of it. We know there were bombs in the buildings. We don't know what really happened. We just know the official story is a fraud. In so many criminal investigations, you don't know who did it. But if you pull up to a scene and there's a dead scientist and his wrists are slit, but there's no blood, you know they didn't die from slitting their wrists. Like Dr. David Kelly, you got killed some other way. And it's now come out he was murdered by the government, basically, in England for saying there were no WMDs in Iraq. So, see, it's the same deal. Do we know exactly who killed Dr. David Kelly? No, we didn't know for the first decade. We just know he'd been murdered, and they'd slit his wrist to make it look like he died from slitting his own wrist. But if you find me dead, and my wrists are slit, and there's no blood, that means I was taken there and I was already dead. It's the same thing on 9/11. You got cops going, they tell us they're blowing up Building 7, get back. We have the video. We're going to play it tomorrow. It's on CNN. They announced the building had fallen, Building 7, before it fell. BBC later admitted they were told it was going to be blown up. I heard and saw on television, but heard on CBS Radio, back when they had CBS Radio in 2001, they were going to blow up the Solomon Brothers building, known as Building 7. So, again, I don't know exactly what happened. I just have spoken to the police officers that are on that video on CNN saying, get back. And they said, well, the Red Cross came and warned us they were going to blow it up and that they had a countdown. And I heard the countdown. 2 police officers told me, who were on the video, heard the countdown to 10. So that's why they start running and saying, get back. They're going to bring it down. It's going to blow up, because they heard the countdown. Now, the media spun it that I was saying the cops had blown it up. I never said that. The cops got a 10-second warning to get back. And you see them running, get back, get back. Boom, it blows up. Do I know what happened? No. Are we being lied to? Yes. But they've got this clip of Bush that they're playing all over the news. Oh, this vindicates the whole war. Use some logic here. Going and kicking out Saddam Hussein, who had been in the Stone Age since 1991 with his whole infrastructure bombed, not a threat to anybody in the region. You take him out, it strengthens Iran, it strengthens Saudi Arabia, it strengthens all the other regimes to come in and take over. Oh, and then you got to go back in again to clean them out. And it's an endless war, this endless money pit. What, $5 trillion was the number I saw a few years ago that's been spent in Iraq since 2003? $5 trillion. For blaming them for 9/11. When the Saudi Arabians are clearly involved. Let's go back to the clip here. On the eve of Obama announcing bigger operations against ISIS. Don't believe that for a minute. That's coming up tonight. He runs them. He gave them the missiles. This is ridiculous. Let's go back to President Bush in July of 2007. Here it is.
That we'd be risking mass killings on a horrific scale. It would mean we allow the terrorists to establish a safe haven in Iraq to replace the one they lost in Afghanistan. It would mean increasing the probability that American troops would have to return at some later date to confront an enemy that is even more dangerous.
Well, that's absolutely true, Bush, except our government in the last 4 years under Obama gave the weapons, the protection in Syria, let them get a safe haven, then they ran back across, and then Obama stood down when dozens and dozens of huge convoys of hundreds of trucks and armored vehicles drove in, as if they didn't have drones and satellites tracking them, as if they couldn't have had jets come in and drop JDAMs on them all day and killed every stinking one of them, as if they couldn't have had anti-tank aircraft go in there and rake them with their Vulcan guns. No, ladies and gentlemen, the globalists are destabilizing the whole world, and that's why I say the al-Qaeda threat is real. ISIS is real, folks. They may let them come here and attack us to take our liberties. So the war on terror is a fraud. I've always said that. But the terror threat is real, and I'll explain why on the other side. Stay with us.
Virtually anyone can hack your cell phone and track your calls, your texts, your emails, your every movement, but only if they can detect a signal. Stay one step ahead of hackers and Big Brother with a Blockit Pocket, a custom-made pocket infused with pure silver that creates a complete Faraday enclosure for your cell phone. For free shipping to the lower 48, visit blockitpocket.com or call 888-315-9618. blockitpocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
Next to water and food, you need a safe, storable fuel supply for your preparedness needs. Spare Fuel is the answer. Spare Fuel can be used in any gas-powered vehicle or generator. Spare Fuel is perfect for any unforeseen out-of-gas emergencies. Unlike gasoline, Spare Fuel is safe to store with your other supplies, and it can be stored for many years. Go to GetSpareFuel.com for special pricing. That's GetSpareFuel.com.
From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new InfoWars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
We travel so much, and having a fake TV, well, it gives added peace of mind.
Burglars look for houses that appear to be easy targets. But fake TV can fool even professional burglars into thinking someone is home watching television.
As a recent widow living alone, it gives me great peace of mind to set my fake TV near a window and know that passing motorists and pedestrians will think someone is home watching TV when I'm actually away from home.
Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet, just like a light on a timer.
And they're so easy to use. You just plug them in and they're ready to go. Plus, they're so affordable that we have one upstairs and downstairs.
Fake TV is only $29.95 with free shipping. Order your fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Gambler understands. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. I'm your host, Alex Jones. All right, so Obama is set to announce, reportedly, tougher airstrikes on ISIS tonight. That's happening for a lot of different reasons, mainly because Congress, the public, Senator Paul and others last year, Senator Cruz, InfoWars, led the charge on this, pointed out that ISIS, Al-Qaeda, that whole group of jihadis are being funded by Saudi Arabia and NATO and Turkey and our government, and Israel's even aiding them in the north of Israel. That has all come out even in the Jerusalem Post. So the West has sickeningly, from France right through to Israel, from the United States right through to Germany, has backed Saudi Arabian and Qatari scum. I'm not calling Saudi Arabians and people from Qatar scum. I'm saying the Al-Qaeda is scum. And these groups are always trying to overthrow their own governments, too. So, see, they're exporting their troublemakers to all these jihadi operations. And Al-Qaeda, it's come out, is so Western-run, with Zawahiri and the rest of it, that they're not cool anymore. So that's why they're trying to claim this split where, you know, well, Al-Qaeda was in charge of ISIS, but now they're not, and now they don't like each other. And that's all to confuse the public that we, our government, gave a bunch of weapons in Syria, in Libya, a bunch of other places, to Al-Qaeda to make those countries be failed states, and then say, oh my gosh, we've got to invade Libya. We've got to have French airstrikes in Libya because Al-Qaeda's there. Our governments collectively put them there. That's the big enchilada. That's the 20 trillion pound elephant in the room. That's the dead dog, you know, under the floorboards that's stinking the house up. This is the issue. And if the governments of the world can get away with this, they can pretty much say 2 + 2 = 100. Now, why am I saying Islamic State's a real threat? It's just like a box of Black Widows dumped in your neighbor's bed. The Black Widows don't work for you per se, but you bred them, fed them, got them ready, and went and dumped them in the bed. Why are you dumping them in the bed? To basically run your neighbor out of the house. And then you're offering an extermination service, basically. It's so that they have to come to you for protection. Hey, pay me protection or somebody's going to burn down your grocery store. Cicera, 1910, New York City, Italian Mafia, La Cosa Nostra. It's the same deal. You better buy insurance from Homeland Security. You better give up your liberty and let the NSA run your life. You better have black uniformed police on the street corner and big black armored vehicles, or the terrorists are going to get you. We better not let journalists videotape police, or the terrorists are going to get you. Well, here's the deal. The police state isn't in the interest of the police, of school teachers, of auto mechanics, of oil men. I don't care who you are. In the end, an authoritarian state is not good for the culture. But there are always psychopathic control freaks that gravitate towards positions of power in government and the corporate structure. There's a new study out on it today. And they're dominating those hierarchical systems, and they just have a twisted vision of the world. Now, I told you, we're seeing ISIS stuff pop up at the White House, at Ferguson, Missouri. We are getting chatter from Facebook and Twitter from real groups we've known about for years that are promoting ISIS. Government-connected, Cass Sunstein-type cognitive infiltration groups, COINTELPRO 2.0. I'm seeing real street cred with the trendies and with the liberals and people who just want to be shocking and into something dark, promoting ISIS. And I'm seeing demonstrations in Austin, I sat there with binoculars, I got to be honest, downtown at a friend's house and watched some of this go on just a few weeks ago. Almost called the police with what I saw going on. But it was probably provocatory action, so I just stayed out of it. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of stuff going on, and we have sources inside that are saying all the other stuff was fake. We're being told, get ready for something real. If we expose it, they may back off. But Voice of America has come out and said ISIS militants use jihad cool to recruit globally. Islamic State extremist group has a phenomenal virtual capacity through social media, and they either get dirt poor goat farmers from the Middle East that can't even hardly tie their shoelaces to go be jihadis, or they get rich trendies and other people from the West to go join them. And here's the big issue, what you're not being told by Voice of America, but that you can see in mainstream news. The British and European governments are letting their jihadis fly back and forth. They're letting them operate, they're letting them recruit, they're letting them garner money to create the clash of civilizations. So that when they do end up attacking, guess who's going to lose their rights? Who do they tell you the last 5 years is #1 terror threat? Not Muslim extremists, gun owners, veterans, the Tea Party. It's going to be used against the very good old boys that are going to back the strike.
We're on the